Not afraid of good, strong sex. Unlike, I might say, most of our leading lending libraries.
Welcome to episode 2 of Be Gay Solve Crimes, a podcast about how all detectives are transgendered. I am November Kelly. My pronouns are she and her. I am joined by my two co-hosts.
I am Lucy, your local librarian. My pronouns are also she and her. And our final co-host?
Hi, I'm Mia Mulder. My pronouns are also she, her.
The pronoun circle where we all have exactly the same pronouns.
It's a lot of she, her.
Yeah.
This will be useful when we have a guest.
I got my wires crossed, and I started to think that I was doing well, there's your problem instead. So I thought it was good to get out in front of it.
A podcast about detective gender dysphoria with no slides whatsoever. I don't think it would be any more comprehensible with slides, honestly.
A specifically trans feminine detective podcast, yes.
Although, I think the jury's out on this one, because this week on Be Gay Solve Crimes, we are doing Hercule Poirot in Death on the Nile, who I honestly think has kind of more of a trans mask vibe going on.
Yes, I agree. I actually agree. I had that in my notes.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that. But to be clear, this is the 1978 Death on the Nile.
Yes.
By John Gilliman, the guy who invented the combination guillotine theremin.
Oh god.
Introducing a sort of real audio gag with the concept first. It's such a backwards way of doing it.
Oh, just imagine the French Revolution, though. Just, a nightmare.
Yeah, you're just in prison waiting. It's just constant. You're hearing the theremin.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what happened in Man with a Golden Gun,
Entirely
Because it just sounds like a slide flute over and over again. Like there's a clown.
Yeah, exactly.
Just what people ask sometimes, what will your job be in the commune post-revolution, right? I'm the person who fixes the slide whistle to the guillotine to add a bit of levity to proceedings.
Exactly.
And let me tell you, they don't appreciate that.
No, they don't. But someone has to do it.
That's right. So, Death on the Nile, brackets 1978, a very old-fashioned, very trad detective story.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And I think it's really interesting just how old-fashioned and how trad it is, given its place in, British history. This is a film from 1978, immediately prior to Maggie Thatcher winning the 1979 election and becoming Prime Minister. And it's the vibes, for me, feel quite similar to that era of British television around when David Cameron was running for election, and we're getting a lot of nostalgia for that kind of bygone British imperialism, sort of very chintz, very twee, very sort of cucumber sandwiches and whatnot.
Yes, very comfortable.
But also deceptively trad and comfortable, because you watch it, as you say, it's from 1978, but it feels older. Feels like it could have been made in the 50s.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But in a good way.
I mean, that may be down to the fact that the producers didn't let the director look at the rushes or any of the dailies. He just sent them off back to London. Not allowed to test it at all.
Slightly concerned that he was going to make some unauthorized cuts. I mean, the thing is, we kind of start with tradness in the sense that we get a sequence of shots of British countryside, rural village.
Downton Abbey.
Chocolate box shit, right?
You would now associate with whatever kind of flavor of the month far right party is to the right of reform now.
Yes. Yeah, this is Nigel Farage's wet dream.
You're seeing hay wains and hops and shit, and it's you would see VCR scan lines overlaid on this with some text saying how we have to do mass deportation.
Reclaim.
Yeah, Rhett Vern.
Yeah, it's a vision of this country that is now ruining everything for all of us in the present.
And it's brought back down quite swiftly to reality. I mean, you have school children singing all things bright and beautiful, sort of being carried through the open windows. And then you get to some ditch diggers who see this Rolls-Royce drive past, and they recognize it as being the Rolls-Royce belonging to Lynette Ridgway.
Oh, that's fucking Auric Goldfinger, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, the pattern on it is kind of like rattan, wicker finger, gold wicker. I don't know, make something out of that at home.
Yeah, he loves only wicker.
Oh my God. But these ditch diggers turn to each other and they say, that's the Ridgway girl. must be nice. Some of us have to work for a living.
Yeah.
And what we are given to understand is that this woman is not only just wealthy, but astronomically wealthy, like more money than God.
We're injecting a little bit of class consciousness into this, which is interesting to me.
Is it hinted at this point, if I remember? I don't think it is, if I remember correctly. Is it hinted why she is wealthy? Because she is an heiress of some sort.
Not yet, I don't think.
No?
It's implied that there are sort of multiple different sources for her wealth. The book has one explanation, the movie has another. She is described later on as being a chewing gum heiress.
Yes.
And so I can only presume that this is like Mrs. Wrigley's or something.
Yeah.
You know, this is
Teresa Heinz type shit. Yeah.
This is Mrs. Wrigley's.
It's Mrs. Hubba Bubba, you know.
The Hubba Bubba fortune, of course.
Exactly.
Of the Hartford Chopper Chop.
I only bring it up because I remember, like, slightly later on in the movie that, like, I did hear someone say "gumi."
Yeah.
Getting flashbacks immediately.
Yeah, I got like the 1,000-yard stare of screaming about "gumi."
Build an airship with this.
So this Rolls Royce pulls up at Woad Hall.
Yeah, Woad of Woad Hall.
Woad of Woad Hall. Yes, it's very, very, very Woad of the Wallows. And she drives
Gas
up.
leaking.
There might be a carbon monoxide leak in here. I wouldn't know. I only moved in yesterday. But they arrive and there's a line of servants outside.
Very Downton Abbey.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly that kind of era. And they offer to sort of show around the estate, and she just doesn't really care at all.
We see that there are two kind of social crimes here that Lynette Ridgway is committing besides being rich, right?
And besides being American.
She's thank you. Yes, she's rude and she's American.
Unforgivable.
Right, which are kind of the same thing, right? Some crimes cannot be forgiven.
Being as beautiful as Lois Chiles does go some of the way to making me forgive her for that, but it's enough there, and it's constantly there that she's implied to be a real nasty piece of work. This is a pre-Moonraker Lois Chiles, incidentally. She would get cast in Moonraker off the back of this by happening to be sat next to the producer of the film at the premiere.
Was Cubby Broccoli seeing this and being like, send this woman to space?
If only we could do the same to Gal Gadot.
Oh my God.
So Lynette has a gal pal, right?
Yes.
Jackie. And Jackie needs a favor from her, right? She wants Lynette to hire her fiancé Simon.
Mm-hmm.
And reading between the lines, this is a bit of an imposition. We haven't met Simon yet, but this is like, you're going out of your way to give this guy a job. And Lynette is not shy about sort of holding this over Jackie.
Yeah.
She is doing this, by the way, in the whitest apartment in the world. Because, like, I only know how to describe it in the language of film noir, and in the language of film noir, this is a kept woman apartment, right? Like, every surface is like white satin.
Yeah, Jackie sort of upsells Simon to her as...
Oh, would you like Simon with that?
He has a degree in estate management from Cambridge.
Which is something you put on a resume when you're trying to fake your way into a job interview. That's not a real thing. Is that a British thing, maybe?
It must have been.
You Brits have weird things in your education system.
Your like estate management thing is you go to the Royal Agricultural College in Cirencester. That's where you in your sort of like red trousers learn how to take care of your family's aristo land.
Yeah,
but like
I have a BA in being posh, you know?
Basically, yes. In daytime drinking, you know? 3 years of Clarkson's farm studies.
A degree in being sound. You can trust me with your massive estate.
Yeah. Simon, not so. You know, we don't know yet, but maybe there's something off about this.
We do get a little glimpse as well that there's something off with Lynette Ridgway insofar as her chambermaid, Louise, who comes up to just sort of offer them something to drink, is weeping silently.
Yeah. Astoundingly beautiful woman, as is like basically everyone in this movie.
She's desperately trying to marry her lover, but Lynette Ridgway forbids her from doing so on the basis that the person she wants to elope with is already married, which presumably is the main reason and got nothing to do with the fact that he's Egyptian, which is also something that she brings up apropos of nothing.
Yeah, very pointedly.
Back when you just kind of like got to decide your staff's personal lives for them as well.
Yeah, and that's a really, really interesting like recurring theme in this, because there are little moments where we are invited to empathize with the plight of servants in this film, but I actually think that its treatment of them as a class is quite woefully lacking. There are sort of two different contrasting examples here, is that we have Louise and then one later that we will get to.
It's somewhat difficult for me because I watched this with you, Lucy, actually, about a week ago. And in that time, my notes have become completely inscrutable to me. At some point during the course of watching this film, I was possessed. The spirit moved me to write down the phrase, "How I be hitting the Charbonnel Walker Marc de Champagne truffles for real?"
Yeah, real.
And I
agree.
have any recollection.
I am trying for the life of me to remember what the fuck you could have meant by that, my darling Nova.
Maybe the maid just has like brought them some little truffles, and Lynette, being obliviously rich, is like munching truffles and being like, "I'm kind of married."
I think Jackie's eating them or something.
This is the least relevant thing to the plot.
Yeah, although it's just the way she says Lynette at the beginning is, I mean, she's supposed to be English, but she pronounces it like Lynette in a way that is pitch perfect my late grandmother, which is to say Scottish. And that's the kind of accent that you only get if you have a mouthful of truffles, I suppose. But please don't worry, I have more than made up for it by having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5 pages of notes, darling.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
To confirm this truffle story, I'm like scrolling through the movie frames as like and like Jackie,
this has maybe gotten out of hand a little bit.
But I have to say, like Jackie has, for the entirety of her entire conversation, has just a box of truffles in her hand and like keeps munching them continuously. And like
that was how I be hitting the Charbonnel Walker Marc de Champagne truffles for real. Okay, yeah, good.
Let's keep going.
Mystery solved. Crime solved.
So,
okay.
The thing is that Lynette says yes.
I'll hire your failure of a boyfriend.
Yeah, let me meet him, introduce your boyfriend to me, and I, Mrs. Steele's your boyfriend, will potentially offer him a job.
Why would she introduce herself that way? And we get a really good smash cut.
Yes.
We zoom out to Simon getting married to Lynette.
The smash cut to the wedding march is just one of the funniest moments. The kind of thing that makes you not even realize that the bride has swapped.
Yes.
You're sort of expecting it initially to be Jackie, and you're so taken aback by how fucking funny this cut is that sometimes you miss it.
I straight up did not realize. I kept going for like 5 more minutes into the movie, and people talked weird, and I was like, "What the hell? Wait, what happened? Like, who's marrying who?" And I had to go back because I didn't realize that she did actually steal the boy.
He has betrayed her, or rather, like, Lynette is the one with kind of agency here. She has betrayed her friend by stealing her man.
Yeah,
right?
She caught one glimpse of his absolutely period-authentic 1937 Justin Bieber haircut, and then she just, fell in love with him instantly. This is an era where actors, and especially like male actors, just seem to steadfastly refuse to adapt their hair in any way to be period appropriate. It's like, that's gay shit. We're not doing any of that.
Absolutely. The finest hair of the 1970s.
He also has the exact same facial expressions throughout the entire movie.
This is true.
He does.
It does not change once.
This is his first role.
I mean, the expression is kind of like...
That's also gay.
Amused and sort of cad-ish, which works for him because Simon doesn't need to do a lot in this movie.
No, he's a bit of a himbo throughout. God's perfect idiot. We then move to a legal office in America where Lynette's Uncle Andrew, who looks remarkably like a combination of Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein smashed together.
He does.
Creepy Uncle Andrew is conspiring because he's worried about this new marriage and the fact that he, as Lynette's American lawyer, is going to lose out in some way to the machinations of Lynette's British lawyers. And she wants to get out ahead of that by meeting her on her honeymoon in Cairo.
Yes, I have to be clear, right? This is really hitting the one American in a British movie vibe, really leaning into the accent. There's a sort of like Empire State Building shot out of the window.
Yeah, he has a bust of Abraham Lincoln behind him or something.
He does.
Just normal American things,
And this sort of a stage in every Agatha Christie film where we're having to sort of introduce a lot of side characters very, very quickly.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? And this is why I don't love Death on the Nile, is as a novel, I sort of think that it kind of Agatha Christie, a talented writer of mysteries, kind of disappears a bit because you ever notice how society is made up of different types of people? And then sometimes you can like sort of satirize those people into like sort of types. You can do like comic bits about them. You can exaggerate them. What if you just wrote a bunch of those and kind of got so wrapped up in that you forgot to do any of the detective stuff?
Well, you know, this was I'll insert the correct number here, but it was like the
18th.
odd like Poirot novel that she'd written. She was absolutely sick to the back teeth of this little cunt by this stage. You know?
Makes sense that he's barely in it then. Yeah.
I mean, because like this is just like a rehash of Murder of the Orient Express, but boat.
Yeah.
Just do another one. Just copy paste, file off the serial numbers. It's just like
Exactly.
it's vaguely Oriental. It's on a boat. It's fine.
Yeah, I really feel like writing a murder mystery where everyone had a motive and they're all sort of broadly drawn social satire of the 1930s.
Well, it's interesting when sort of thinking about it, like, because there was initially a kind of tenderness there, I suppose, insofar as if you were to properly adapt Poirot for the modern era, he wouldn't actually be Belgian. He would likely be Ukrainian. He is a refugee having sort of escaped from war-torn Belgium that had been invaded. And it was considered exceptionally patriotic among British citizens at the time to show sort of hospitality and fellow feeling to the Belgians specifically. In much the same way as now in Britain, it's considered sort of quite patriotic to sort of extend an arm to Ukrainian refugees, as distinct from, let's say, any other kind of refugee. You know, and that sort of like preferential treatment continues in this insofar as there are some really, really quite racist caricatures in this film.
Oh yeah,
We will get...
shockingly racist.
We will absolutely get...
Even for 1978, there were some character. There was like one specific character that's going to come later that I was just like, could you do this in the 70s?
Oh yeah.
Like this is
It's wretched.
This is crazy.
We move to the apartment of Mrs. Van Schuyler, played by Betty Davis, although
Betty
sort of
Davis.
dressed more, and it's more like Betty Gesserit because she looks absolutely insane. This woman is wearing like a doily on, it's sort of like a kind of mantilla, a kind of sort of strange embroidered headscarf thing that sort of is very, very tight around the face. And she is a very, very elderly, very wealthy old crone of a woman, as the characterization is. That she's very sort of like nagging, and she is weighted on hand and foot by trans mask Maggie Smith.
Oh my goodness. Maggie Smith in this. Just life changing.
Powerful.
Yeah. What if you were in a sort of 24/7 DS relationship with your maid, who was kind of like constantly belligerent towards you.
Yeah, it's difficult to work out who really is like the dom and who is the sub in this dynamic, because that's the way it's played for laughs.
Yeah.
You know, Betty Davis is exceptionally cruel to her
Back and forth
at all times and is constantly trying to, you know, make her life miserable.
She's also, more importantly, regardless of how Betty Davis abuses her, she is constantly getting a fit off. She has that shit on.
I have never seen someone have their shit more on than Maggie Smith in this movie. The suits, the tuxedos, it's an incredible fit. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, throughout the entire movie as well. Like it never fails.
Mm-hmm. And we cut to them because they decide that they are going to go on a holiday to Cairo.
Yeah, Maggie Smith does not miss the opportunity for some Islamophobia, right? Because as part of her kind of cantankerous thing, she's like, the two things I hate most are heat and heathens. Right?
Christ, yeah, no, Jesus. Really, really cementing it as sort of a period piece in that way, I guess.
Tragic. The hottest menswear femme you know is racist, and that's a very realistic struggle. That's
Are there
like
many such
current
cases?
in
I
our...
wouldn't know.
I believe that there are. Yes, regretfully.
More than the average, unfortunately.
Yeah, something happens to you when you put a tie pin on for the first time. You know, it's like...
Speaking of a fit off, we then rejoin Lynette and Simon on their honeymoon in Cairo.
I'm just gonna put a marker down here for future Death on the Nile episodes. It's crazy how they have the pyramids, like the actual ones,
Yes.
instead of a green screen with pyramid.jpg projected on it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
With a very like careful camera framing to not show like the 8 Pizza Huts that will be like right behind the camera.
Yeah, you can just climb it.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't do that anymore, surely, right? Like
If
No.
you're fast enough, I'm sure you don't climb the fucking pyramids.
you should climb the pyramids illegally and hide.
So, under sufferance, right, Poirot is here. And you can tell that Agatha Christie doesn't want him to be. And I think this might be a good moment to just introduce everyone to Hercule Poirot, if we're not familiar. Hercule Poirot, another sort of big canonical detective. Different actors have tended to emphasize different things about him, but the main sort of description for him, I would say, is sort of fastidiously neurodivergent.
Yes. If Sherlock Holmes has ADHD, Hercule Poirot absolutely has OCD coming out of his eyes. This man is described by Captain Hastings as he would be more wounded by a speck of dust on his suit than a bullet.
And he's just hanging out here, like in between the pyramids and the Sphinx, and not visibly doing much of anything. He's just like sitting there and having a little nice time.
In eavesdropper's corner.
Because he's having, I guess, the ancient Egypt as his current micro interest.
He's like spawned in. He's got the multiplayer lobby thing of like game starts in 60 seconds. He's just kicking his heels.
Okay, but he spawns in so many times in this movie. Like every now and again, he'll just like pop up out of nowhere. But yeah, no, Poirot is no taller than 5 foot. He is supposedly sort of it's ambiguous as to whether he is like fully bald already and already wearing a wig, or if he is just balding.
He's a sort of short, peculiar, irritating, kind of frivolous man.
Yes, he's also described as being a little bit vain in a way that I find quite interesting and preoccupied with aging. If ever there was like a trans femme sort of anxiety, I suppose, is because he canonically dyes his hair. And he dyes his mustache, and
he does take a lot of care in that mustache. Like every scene that he's in is very finely twirled. Like one of his defining characteristics.
Yeah, his hair is suspiciously black, as Agatha Christie puts it. But no, he's very, very, very anxious a lot of the time about things being very precise. In his bank account, he has at all times £444, 4 shillings, and 4 pence. And if that isn't like some quite powerful OCD, I don't know what is.
What if you have to go to the shops, man? You can't. What?
Always got to have a little bit of cash on hand, I guess, just in case.
Yeah.
Because the bank account has to be stable. I get it. I've had times when the anxiety peaks a little bit. Like you have a deadline in 4 days and you've not started yet, and so you just become weirdly obsessed about the amount of shoes you have in your hallway.
Yeah.
We've all been there, right?
As an OCD haver, I've definitely been sort of like hit by the next pandemic is going to start because I don't do my little rituals, right? It's my fault Trump got elected the second time because I didn't do my little rituals. But like, so seldom has one of my little rituals been solve the fucking case, right?
Only for an absence of cases, you know?
I think so. But Poirot is the OCD-powered detective, and I think that neurodivergence and that kind of fastidiousness. He's also a little bit anachronistic. Like he tends to wear like slightly older-fashioned clothes than everyone else.
Yes.
All of that bundled together is enough to make me point and go transgender, right? Which is the thesis of the episode. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
And in like another proud detective trend, on top of that, as part of that anachronism, he does have a safari hat in Egypt
helmet.
for some, like being the only person I think in the whole movie who has that while he's having a casual lounge by the Sphinx, as one does.
The colonial vibes have not yet soured for them, I suppose.
You got to have a weird hat.
But it's interesting that Agatha Christie sort of describes Poirot in being quite sort of stark opposition to herself. She says, if you are a person who is burdened with acute shyness and only thinking of the correct thing to do or say when it's too late, then all you can do is write about quick-witted men and resourceful girls whose reactions are like greased lightning.
Interesting. Agatha, do you imagine yourself as a Belgian detective?
Well, Agatha Christie, I will get on. Agatha Christie has like a sort of character who strikes a lot of us as being a sort of self-insert character, I suppose, and it's drawn with such unkindness and self-hatred,
Yes,
if it
yes.
is, that it's really quite, sad.
But so Poirot is there to witness an argument, right? Because these two, they're climbing the pyramid. Fantastic. Very romantic. At which point, showing up to info dump at them about the pyramids.
Oh, it's crazy. By the way, did you know?
Yeah, every polycule has one info dumper.
Fucking Adam Conover show. It's like a jump scare as well. Like she comes out of nowhere. Jackie comes out of literally nowhere, just appears out of the corner of your eye like a jump scare.
She spawns in.
Did you know?
Actually, they weren't built by slaves.
This is Did you know that Marty Supreme was wrong about that? It's crazy how much Lynette hits the Erica Kirk stare when she sees her. It
really does.
Remarkable.
Both Lynette and Simon in matching white joppers and just looking like they're wearing spiritually the same clothes. And Nova, our beloved May, wanted to say that they're dressed like the twins from Funny Games, which means nothing to me. But
it's true. No, they 100% are.
But anyway,
so they flee from her, right?
Yes, and Lynette's really angry that Jackie keeps, because she's been hounding them constantly. She pops up everywhere, quote, like a kangaroo in heat, I think.
Bouncing on it? Question mark.
Bouncing on it, kangaroo style.
Concerning.
Yeah.
I did not like hearing those words, but
I mean, what's bouncing on it kangaroo style compared to sloppy gorilla sex, Mia?
Can you say this could you say this in an Australian accent just for full immersion?
Bouncing on it kangaroo style.
Bouncing on it kangaroo style.
There you go. Now I like it.
But I'm not going to worry about it because every 2 weeks someone is torn apart by sloppy gorilla sex in North Queensland.
So we got to get this back on track because this is a long movie.
Yeah, so they go to the hotel where they're staying, and this is where we dial up the thing of like, here are all the types of people in the world. There's like 6 of them, right? There's horrible older woman. There's maid with some shit going on. There's horrible older woman.
A communist.
There's Lucy pre-transition in the form of an annoying communist.
This chair is free, eh? In this world, comrade, nothing's free.
Yeah. It's basically what it is it's a collection of kind of social flaws, right? Yes. It's Christie going like, here's what really grinds my gears, right? And the list is of like social irritants is like women who drink, social climbers, people getting older, particularly women, Americans, and communists.
Absolutely. Incidentally, they were in the Cataract Hotel, which is where Agatha Christie stayed during her early life while on holiday in Egypt, and inspired the novel. Do you want to know how much a room in the Agatha Christie suite will get you per night?
Oh, probably billions of dollars.
£8,750 a night in the Agatha Christie suite.
It's going to be full of like retired couples cosplaying, and I wish them a lovely time.
If you get a different room, that goes down to a cool $740.
I think one of the coolest things you could do is to go there and then get murdered mysteriously. One of the coolest things you can do anywhere, really.
I mean, yeah, although unfortunately it's unlikely to happen, so more likely is you'd have to go and start killing, And now that I'm on the record saying that publicly, they'll never let me go, so I don't need to feel bad about never being able to afford it.
Yet another reason this podcast is played in a courtroom at some point.
So Poirot's there to like hang out with David Niven, which is a good reason to go anyway.
Colonel Race.
70s David Niven with the sideburns. Did not shave them despite it being set in the 30s because no one gave that much of a fuck. And they're there doing like politely like old bastard stuff together, right? Like
David Niven in the books, his character Colonel Race is an MI5 spy, which is presumably why they have David Niven playing him, on account of David Niven being one of the first choices to play James Bond back in the day.
Yeah.
But also Peter Ustinov happened to be David Niven's Batman during World War II. This was something of a reunion for them.
This was their this was the war version of the 24/7 DS relationship. Peter Ustinov is Poirot, by the way. We forgot to mention this.
Oh yes,
it's not the David Suchet that you may be more familiar with. No. Peter Ustinov did a couple of these, but so they're interrupted by Agatha Christie's self-insert XP, Salome Otterborn.
Yes. Angela Lansbury.
I'm asking Agatha, is everything okay at home? And then I'm asking her that, and then she's disappearing for a week. So probably not.
Yeah.
Salome Otterborn is like, what if the worst woman you know, the most socially inept woman it's possible to be, who everyone hates, was also an incredibly successful novelist?
It's interesting.
And also really horny all the time. I mean, Slay, I do love her, actually. Like, I was slightly annoyed by her in the beginning, but I do also feel a dramatic kinship with her, in the sense that she will walk up to a person, mispronounce their name, and then I'll say, look at us both, two famous people here, isn't this so nice? Which is something that I have done multiple times.
You just walk up to the interaction, get the name completely wrong, slap the YouTube play button on the table.
That's right.
And you're like, how's it going? Hell yeah. I should start doing that.
Salome Otterborn is possibly based on a writer called Eleanor Glynn, who helped popularize the term it girl. She launched the career of like Gloria Swanson, who went on to be in Sunset Boulevard and other things. It was also one of the earliest female directors that there ever was.
It's kind of worse if it's not Agatha Christie doing herself.
Yeah, it's a little bit more mean-spirited, but the thing that I found interesting is that that's sort of more of the case in the film. You know, her first novel is described as being called Snow on the Sphinx's Face, which is a very, very close pastiche on Snow Upon the Sand or something. Snow Upon the Desert, which was Agatha Christie's first novel. So it's like they seem to be mashing, you know, two people together here.
Could be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I am trash, and so is this person.
So Lynette and Simon dance, only for the dance floor to be interrupted by a huge incidence of beautiful princess disorder, right? It can strike at any time, and so can Jackie.
Yes, our BPD queen.
Yeah, she's so real.
I mean, thank God she turns up, because this is a long movie with a lot of tango bullshit and a lot of language bullshit.
Yeah, she shows up and she goes, did you know that the dance floor was actually invented by the ancient Egyptians?
Yeah.
She just wants to share her interest. Let her share her interest.
And then displays the craziest crazy eyes I think I've ever seen in movies.
Yeah, Pharaoh doing an absolutely fantastic job.
Flames on the side of my face.
The next morning, she sees Lynette hire Poirot to have a word with her. And Papa Poirot, this sort of kind of sexless, benign figure, takes her aside and is like, girl, you gotta stop crashing out.
Gotta get together.
Poirot's like, get over your ex, right? Which obviously, I'm never going to do that, right? Like,
your Schadenfreude is unbecoming.
Absolutely not. Never get over your ex, like that Magnetic Fields song. However, what Poirot tells her is, I say, bury the dead, which is a good line, but not like the Egyptians do. So it kind of suggests that Poirot thinks that Egyptians still mummify people.
Yeah, ring ring, Edward Said. Bizarre.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a static culture that hasn't changed at all.
No,
what do you mean? It's a vaguely Oriental culture with a lot of dust, sand.
So genuinely, I think that Egypt in Death on the Nile, particularly this Death on the Nile, you may as well set it on Mars, right? Because the traits that it has as a place are remote, personally inconvenient,
sandy,
and completely devoid of sentient life, right? Like, there is no Egyptian presence in this film whatsoever.
No, there isn't.
Right? It's a backdrop.
Death on the Lunar Colony, damn.
Yeah.
Like, you could read this. This could be an Andy Weir novel, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, most of the sort of resident Egyptian characters in it are completely unnamed street urchins coming up to sort of like essentially mime pickpocketing Poirot.
Yeah, this is where he's Poirot Al Gaib. Yes.
Yeah, with his pith helmet and his horse tail hair whip that he's like loosely batting away flies and things. It's a little wretched as vibes go, I will say.
So Jackie is like, First of all, I'm not going to get over my ex, but then she takes it further than that and she goes, and just to show you how serious I am about not getting over my ex, I have this gun.
You will respect me in 5, 4. She takes out this tiny gun.
She puts it onto her hand.
And with like 4 barrels arranged in a square for when you want to shoot all 4 members of Weezer lined end to end.
When you want to shoot the cubic arrangement of Weezer.
Exactly. And she puts it to her head and she's like, sometimes I could just kill that bitch, Lynette Ridgway. And Poirot just sort of goes, I shall pretend I did not hear that.
I also did a Weezer joke. I said when you want to kill the one smallest member of Weezer 4 times, which is less good.
Little Wheezy.
Yeah. So Simon, so Poirot talks to Simon about this. Simon, who is carrying a big hookah at this point, just for, I guess, local color.
May as well. You know how it is when you're a tourist.
You have to pick up a gigantic shisha. And Simon's like, I wouldn't worry. I've contrived a plan. Poirot does not tell him about the gun, which I feel like he probably should have done.
Yeah. Some sleight of hand ensues, yeah.
Don't worry about it.
The plan is some fucking Wile E. Coyote type shit. Yes, it's we're just gonna get in a cab, say really loudly, hey, let's go to the station in this cab. And then
I
turn
hope
the
Jackie
cab
isn't
around.
listening in to know that we're going to the station now.
We will take the train to Alexandria quickly before it leaves.
Jackie, who is like strapped to the underside of this cab, like in Cape Fear.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so what we finally get to is the Nile from Death on the Nile, and we board the paddle steamer. I actually can't remember its name in this.
Karnak.
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 In real life, it's the steamship Sudan. Do you want to know how much money it costs to go on the steamship Sudan?
Oh, God. It's still around?
Mm-hmm.
Paddle steamers don't die. There's one on the Clyde that's been running for like 100 years at this point.
£7,775.
You just double up, spend 14
That's too
grand
much.
on one night in a hotel where you get murdered and then on a boat where you get murdered.
There's a paddle steamer that goes from my university town of Uppsala down to Stockholm, and it's very cheap. And it's it also goes down a nice little river.
That sounds picturesque.
So if you want to have a murder on that little boat,
yeah,
they would probably appreciate it because no one ever takes it.
Shit, I've been looking for someone to get murdered, so
Shout out to them.
We then get
the racism, the racist bit happens.
yeah, we are
The racist bit
introduced to
happens.
the manager of the Karnak.
Mr. Chowdhury. He says his name in the midst of comically broken English, and he like absolutely fucks the tone and pacing of this because I guess this is what audiences wanted in the 70s is a kind of racist comic gravedigger shit.
Weird, like racist comic relief.
I may include sort of drops of him saying a bunch of just like Desi stereotype shit.
Very nearly get verbatim a goodness gracious me out of him.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
would
something
genuinely
very
feel
like that.
uncomfortable sort of quoting any of it to you out loud. It's genuinely wretched.
Yeah.
Oh, cripes! Never have I seen such a reptile in a first-class cabin.
The original role was going to be played by Omar Sharif, aka
What?
Dr. Zhivago, aka Sheriff Ali from Lawrence of Arabia, but he pulled out upon reading the script.
Yeah, you don't say.
Fair. Valid.
Yeah, instead they got Gassim from Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, Indra Johar. They take that role and they cut it up and shrank it down into a really genuinely wince-enduring racist caricature. Awful. You're sort of watching it being like, man, you don't got to do this. You can,
A weird scene.
you know?
It's such a weird scene. And it goes on for way too long.
Yeah, like
Like, it adds nothing to the narrative as well. Like, he has this thing of just like, oh, I'm going to guess based on your faces which room you go into and who you are. And like, for no reason.
You are Mrs. and Miss Otterburn, righty?
Wrongy. I am Mrs. Van Skylt.
Just to be clear on this, right? I sometimes use the Wikipedia plot summary just to keep things in order in my head. The Wikipedia plot summary of this movie is 8 paragraphs. We're at the end of paragraph 1.
Okay, we'll speed up. We'll speed up. Well, the thing is that I think a lot of it will sort of fly by a little quicker because so much of this movie is seeing.
I'm here for the long haul.
Sure.
Like,
okay. So much of this is just seeing the same murder 15 million times.
Yeah. Basically, what we have is a very kind of motives-heavy day on the Karnak, right? Because Lynette this is the Gal Gadot character in the Branagh adaptation of this, right? Enough champagne to feel denial, right? And part of the thing is everyone wants to kill her, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has a motive. Going back to the same well as Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah. We can sort of blast through a few scenes by basically just summarizing their motives. So Lynette Ridgway goes up to Mrs. Van Schuyler, Betty Davis's character, and it's revealed that Betty Davis is pretty heavily lusting after her pearls. You know, she has these absolutely gorgeous pearls, and Betty Davis wants them, and she wants them through psychological warfare. And she was like, you know that oysters shit those, right? You know, you're wearing oyster shit. You're wearing like horrible sea urchin poop around your neck.
She's kind of negging her, yeah.
Yeah, you should stop wearing them and leave them unprotected somewhere.
You don't think about where they come from? That's weird because they die. You know, they die for that, and you don't even appreciate it.
Yeah, you're a bad person.
She incidentally outs her maid here. Miss Bowers unfamiliar with the marrying state.
Yes, because Mrs. Bowers comes over with the incredible line, "Come on, it's time for your massage."
Oh, I have it somewhere.
Come along now, back to the cabin. Time for your massage.
The implication is genuinely that there's some sapphic shit going on here. This is getting 100%. A bit gay.
Getting mercilessly and clinically finger blasted by a kind of transgender boy-girl wife.
Maggie Smith.
Okay. So we then
both of y'all are like moaning weirdly in this podcast. How am I the sane one in this?
A lack of exposure to Maggie Smith.
Hold on. Last episode, you were sort of.
There's no sloppy gorilla sex in this one. There's
if Measurehead were aboard this boat, man, Mulder.
That's fair.
We then cut to Salome Audubon, who also has beef with Lynette on account of the fact that
she has defamed her. Right? She's written a novel which is sort of like an identifiable Lynette is depicted as bitch, and Lynette is suing.
A nymphomaniacal baboon is the implication.
Nymphomaniacal baboon sex. Let's fucking go. Like, we figured it out.
It's terrifying.
Unto every episode of Be Gay Solve Crimes is granted a higher primate.
Eventually we'll find something between humans, but today is not that day. But Poirot is once again just constantly like eavesdropping all of this shit.
He's just there doing his fucking idle animation.
Yeah, exactly.
In the background while different people tell Lynette Ridgway they're gonna kill her.
We learned that trans mask Maggie Smith also has beef against her because unlike Lynette's French maid, who is genuinely like lower class in this society and genuinely powerless, Maggie Smith used to be aristocracy, but then Lynette's father fucked over her father in a business context, leaving them completely destitute.
Condemning her to a life of lesbian servitude.
Mia, what are you doing?
No, because like she's like her father apparently is some fucking industrialist in the chewing gum industry, right? So like, are we to believe that the chewing gum magnate, screwed over some other fucking?
The chewing gum wars were brutal, right? Like none of the. And the thing is, it just chews you up and it spits you out, right? Like
the hubba bubba hullabaloo, yeah.
I can't beat. That's good.
She was heiress to the juicy fruit fortune, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, blah, 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 blah.
Next one is Louise being like, I'm gonna kill you. It's just take a number, take a ticket with a number on it and get in line to tell Lynette Ridgway that you are going to kill her and why.
Exactly. So we then cut to the sort of the lounge of the paddle steamer while everyone's just sort of like lounging about. and creepy Uncle Andrew comes in and foists a bunch of papers in front of Lynette Ridgway, saying, just sign this contract, darling. Don't bother reading it. It's all fine. I've checked it. It's all
it's
good.
It's an end user license agreement, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He presents her with a sort of like double spaced thing that says like you can accept all the cookies, or you can subscribe and then turn some of them off.
Yes, and this dastardly diabolical plan falls completely short when Lynette's like, I'm not going to sign this until I read it, dude. And he just sort of goes, fuck.
That was my whole plan.
They're going to read it and know that I'm evil. No.
So I actually am going to go in and set all of the advertising preferences individually to off. Thank you. And he's destroyed by this.
And that was the whole plan.
Yeah.
He has no retort. He's like, fuck.
He went to Egypt for this. Like,
he's lost so much money.
Oh, you want to read it?
There's a little hint at the scale of her wealth here, which is that the contract that he's asking you to look over includes the lease on the Chrysler building.
Like in Megalopolis.
So apparently chewing gum money gets you some Chrysler building real estate. But Simon perks up here, God's perfect himbo, and says, I've never read a legal document in my life. Never done it before. Don't plan to start now. I can't even read.
Thank you, Simon. Very cool.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, isn't that a little feckless? So in the background, Poirot is just like checkers mogging Colonel Race, just absolutely destroying him.
They're literally playing checkers in the background. Like, why checkers? It's so dumb.
They may as well be T-posing at this point.
Colonel Race swoops in here and comes to Lynette's defense because Colonel Race is actually there on behalf of Lynette's English lawyers, and he is investigating creepy Uncle Andrew for his...
He's been doing some embezzlement, the cuddliest sounding crime.
Right, so blasting through, 52 minutes in, let's keep going.
Oh god, okay.
There is one more scene where like her fucking servant comes up to me and like, my Egyptian boyfriend says he's gonna do it, but now you have to give me my money.
Yeah, and she won't do it. She won't do it.
And she goes like, no, fuck you, kill yourself. And Poirot has this wonderful line where he kind of looks into the camera and being like, oh, how she makes enemies of them all. And just like kind of looks at the audience being like, you keeping up? You got that?
I tell you what, this is a real murder on the Orient Express situation.
Oh, you went there? Oh, well, maybe you're not as cool as Hercule Poirot.
There's a scene in Spaceballs where Dark Helmet looks into the camera and says, everybody got that? When they kind of do the exposition. And I feel like I got the exact same vibe from Hercule Poirot here. Like, we've said all the characters.
There's also a doctor as well.
Oh, Christ, yes.
He's like a quack doctor. He's like one of the other
so
types.
many characters. Jesus.
So we then disembark.
They disembark. They go to the Temple of Karnak, right?
Yeah.
Everybody spreads out amidst the columns, and Lynette is with Simon under the like precipitously balanced rock on top of a column, and someone, we know not who, shoves that rock and it misses her by inches and almost crushes her into like a sort of stain on the floor.
Getting there involves like a full 5 minutes of camel bullshit.
Yeah.
So what turns out to be like a 40-meter ride.
When I saw the temple at Karnak, I wrote down like in GoldenEye 64. When I saw the Stonefall, I wrote down like in Hot Fuzz. You can connect all of this stuff in your own time.
Yeah. During all this time, like Salome is rubbing herself up against the statues.
She is,
like a rotting stag. This lady is horny. They have adjusted her prog dose for her menopause HRT. Her sex drive is back, and she is gonna get some on this paddle steamer. and the communist Jim Ferguson is like turning to her daughter, being like, your mother's a slut. Have you ever thought that?
Karl Marx said that religion was the opium of the people. For your mother, it's obviously sex.
This is his way of hitting on her, to be clear, is to be like, your mum is fucking like horny as shit.
Exactly.
I actually had like this is like half of my notes about this communist because like what is he doing here. Like,
Yeah.
it's 1936. Spain has just got into a big civil war, and every communist with any amount of money has gone to Spain right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in Egypt hanging out in Florida. Like, what is he doing here?
He is
His personality trait is he hates rich people, so he's going on a rich people
It's kind
cruise.
of like, and yet you use iPhone from Agatha Christie here, right? Where it's like he's a poser, right? And like secretly, he's one of these kind of like red aristos where he's like his real name is like Viscount whatever, but he prefers to be addressed as Comrade Smith. Kind of
posing
thing.
with the USSR flag in front of his parents' Aga, just like this is the guy who's reading that. Yeah, it's the but iPhones thing. It's like and yet you participate in the 8,000 a night Egyptian cruise. Rosalie, who is Salome's daughter, is very, very anxious about the libel lawsuit that's currently going on between her mother and Lynette.
Oh, the motives are just stacking up, aren't they?
The communist motive, incidentally, is just I want to kill all rich people.
Yeah, communism. It's correct.
That's what
yes.
communism is, I guess.
Yeah.
Lynette Ridgway's a leech, parasite in the skin of society. For God's sake, in a sane world, she'd be bumped off as a warning to the others.
That's his whole character and motivation, and like they treat it as like equivalent to ruined my life and wants to steal my jewels, and he's just like hates rich people.
Well, that's how you do class war, right? Is like individual adventurism in the form of whodunits, right? If we can knock off enough individual rich people in mysterious circumstances, then the Vanguard Party forms.
What Lenin wrote.
I kind of like this as a political program, I have to be honest. We'll call it kind of Marxism-Luigism, right? Like, for the short term. However...
Lynette and Simon immediately suspect that it's Jackie, and that Jackie has somehow followed them there and pushed this...
Yeah, wouldn't that be crazy if Jackie was there? Wouldn't it be wild if she was able... If some kind of, like, beautiful princess was ready to appear and be like, the Temple of Karnak was actually built under, like, Akhenaten. It wasn't. But...
Well, Nova, wouldn't you know?
Welcome to the Temple of Abu Simbel. The facade is 84 feet long.
Yeah, literally just with the statistics.
A woman who is on some Assassin's Creed discovery mode shit, right? Like she is hanging out.
So they reboard the boat, and now Jackie is on the boat with them. This is the one thing they didn't want to happen.
Why don't you just stop her from getting on the boat?
Yeah, she doesn't have a ticket.
All of them just
I don't
kind of
understand.
throw up their hands and go.
Also, how did she get there?
This
like,
is
train. And now is she on the boat? Like, she's just randomly on the boat, and they're just all fine with it.
She's supposed to have outsmarted them, I suppose, but also this is like a paddle steamer. It's not exactly like, full of spare rooms. This is you have to book in advance.
Yeah. Poirot does try again, right? He takes her aside and he goes, "Listen, before you embark on a quest of revenge, first build 2 pyramids."
I think what I love about this little monologue is that it's like so full of water-based puns. He's just sort of like saying to me like, "Oh, you are venturing into troubled waters, and they are perhaps too deep for you to navigate. You are entering a whirlpool. It is like your life is branching into rivers. I am coming to the end of my water-based puns. Just leave her alone."
And to be clear, Jackie is like, "I'm going to shoot her with this gun that I have."
Yeah, like oopsie
is much
boopsie.
more direct.
I kind of love Jackie here. This is like she's absolutely insane. We then go back aboard for some more establishing motives bullshit, and we learn why the German quack doctor has beef with Lynette.
Yeah, it has to do with his thing of administering women.
I prescribed a course of armadillo's urine. Yeah.
Good weekend.
and so Lynette, besides being sort of like a chewing gum heiress, is also a real kind of like rational thinker, sort of like debunker.
Lynette Ridgway is an incredibly wealthy billionaire who has nothing but time on her hands and is deciding to pick a fight with a German doctor running an institute in Munich that involves giving injections of an animal urine, some kind of like pregnant mare urine, some kind of
I thought it was
urine.
interesting that all of Lynette Ridgway's, like all of the internal shots at Lynette Ridgway's house, there was mold growing up the walls.
Genuinely, I'm getting like Magnus Hirschfeld vibes from this guy. It's like
I'm getting RFK Jr. vibes from this guy.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Freud type.
Yes, yeah. No, he is supposed to be. We're joking.
Right, and read into that all of the sort of prejudice that Agatha Christie might imbue that with.
And as always, Poirot is just like hanging out, doing idle animations in the background. He's literally just at the bars, casually drinking. He just is around.
Pops up from
like
nowhere.
a fucking poltergeist, just happening to be at every location when things are happening.
Yeah.
This is one of the other reasons why he's transgender, is his ability to just kind of spawn in.
Peter Ustinov's Poirot is also something of a drinker in the way that Poirot never really was in the books. In the books, Poirot drinks sirop de cassis, which is blackcurrant cordial. My man is basically just like going around necking Ribena all the time. He likes
one of the first times I got properly drunk was being left unsupervised with a bottle of creme de cassis, which is in fact fun Ribena, and I got so sick.
Oh, God, bless you.
I can empathize with Poirot here.
Well, it makes him very sick and very, very sleepy. He is really struggling to keep his eyes open, which is interesting. So Angela Lansbury, seeing Poirot sort of being very sleepy and very take advantageable of, launches herself at him pussy first.
He's wearing a sort of 3-piece suit where the waistcoat is printed with "I'm feeling very vulnerable right now. If any older women want to take advantage of me."
and she begs him to sort of take her back to her room.
Yeah,
and not before giving her daughter some CNC advice on the way out, being like,
"Oh, do you want that?"
Yeah, sure.
I suppose that uncouth young man will appear now and attempt to seduce you. Well, don't let him succeed without at least the show of a struggle. Remember, the chase is very important.
Oh, Mother.
Mums just be saying
oh
shit.
my God. So she gets taken back to her room by Poirot, and all the time, falling over and being like, "Oops, I fell into your lap again, Mr. Poirot.
Oops.
What oopsie daisy. Whatever am I going to do?" And Jackie goes to the lounge to crash everyone's car game.
Time to crash out.
Yeah, Jackie shows up and she just starts doing bits.
Yeah.
I love her
she
so
is
much.
smashed
She shows
already.
up and drunkenly is like, did you know that a boat is a watercraft of a large range of types and sizes, generally smaller than a ship?
Yeah, exactly. And she corners Rosalie, who is the last one there. Everyone else has gone to bed, and she's like halfway out the door, being like, "Okay, I don't. You've clearly got some stuff going on here."
She's like tugging on her sleeve, like, start respecting me. Boats can be propelled by manpower, for instance, rowboats and paddle boats. Wind, for instance, sailboats.
I need to get out of here. Like, this is not. You're having a weird.
Yeah, I don't know you. You've clearly got a lot going on.
We've all been the second last person to leave the function.
Oh God! Someone just like talking. Yeah, Jackie describes the breakup of her and Simon as being a 3-hanky story, which I think it's just a very funny turn of phrase. It reminds me of like a 3-pipe problem from Sherlock Holmes. But we then have an altercation that sort of tensions are rising between Jackie and Simon. Lynette has gone to bed. Simon is trying to get Jackie to go to bed. Jackie is refusing to go to bed. Have you got the drop of this, Nova?
Which one?
Simon says go to bed.
Oh, yeah, no, I do.
Simon says go to bed.
Go to bed!
It's like really setting up for that pun with the name.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but so ultimately, what Simon says is get shot in the fucking leg.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
She pulls the start respecting me gun. And
Simon
she shoots
immediately
him.
regrets getting that small tattoo of Weezer on his thigh.
I also wrote down his leg looks like all 4 members of Weezer. We're such hacks.
Jackie has a nervous breakdown after this, being like, "Oh God, what have I done?"
This is one of your classic kind of. You're able to sort of execute woman moment in the 1930s, where you're like, "This is all too much for me sensorially. I'm gonna like sort of faint and start crying and things of this nature." They don't let you do this anymore. They call it autism now.
Yeah. This is the titular grievous bodily harm from Grievous Bodily Harm on the Nile.
Yeah. The communist guy shows up, puts his head in the door, and is like, "Damn, the material conditions in here are crazy."
Poirot completely asleep with his little fucking mustache cozy, his little like mustache hairnet that he's got on, not able to wake up to any of this, despite the fact that people are running all over the boat.
Yeah. The precise movements of which are important if you care, but we don't. The main thing that I have to note here is that the communist guy is with him, and it is kind of funny to be like having been shot, and the first aid guy is trying to sell you a copy of the Morning Star. just like doing communist bits at you, being like, okay, love triangle, got it. You know what that is? That's an example of a dialectic.
And speaking of red fabric, he is holding a handkerchief to his leg that is sodden with scarlet, sanguine-looking blood, liquid, potentially, question mark. It's blood. We are supposed to think it's blood, at least.
I love the term blood liquid.
So they get Maggie Smith up out of bed, where she's like, that's fine. I'm just going to play the drop, right?
I think a shot of morphia will meet the case. I've always found it very effective when Mrs. Van Schuyler is carrying on.
Yeah.
Getting fucking drugged by kind of quasi-trans mask girl
Powerful.
mask Maggie Smith.
I want what they have. Like, it's powerful.
Yeah. It's so gratifying to know that, like, true love can be, like, real, you know?
Incidentally, heroin was already illegal by this stage. It was illegal by 1920. It had been illegal for 17 years, and just flatly admitting that she's, like, using this and using it on Mrs. Van Schuyler should have been cause for a lot.
I've been doing a kind of, like, opioid phantom thread situation with my mistress, I guess.
She also suggests that they should go get the doctor to deal with Simon's injury, and she calls him the Hun doctor.
Oh, I have that, yes.
Ferguson, you'd better go and get that Hun doctor.
You know, he'll only prescribe you 1 milligram of estradiol Valorant, and, you know, no T blocker.
My doctor be
no
like,
nothing.
I got that, doctor.
3 years of lived experience. So the commie and the doctor go and escort Simon back to his cabin.
The doctor, there's a little joke at the communist expense where he like can't stand the sight of blood, which is why I guess he's not in Spain, because iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he's already exonerated himself from suspicion of murdering this because he's a communist, and, you know, killing someone would involve having to do something rather than just talk about
it. Posting, yeah. And the doctor is like, gotcha, gunshot wound. 1 course of armadillo urine coming right up.
Straight in, intramuscular. Simon, incidentally, here is very remorseful and very forgiving very quickly. Like, whatever you do, no, don't wake my wife. Let my wife sleep. It'll all be fine. All that happened was my crazy ex shot me, but whomst among us, you know, hasn't done that.
Beautiful princess disorder happens. You know?
And like, no one really, like, I feel like everyone takes the situation very casually, not just Simon, because like, if this happened in real life, they would turn the boat around.
Yeah, there's more bullets in that gun. There's more members of Weezer.
They can't just keep going and like casually just hang out for a little bit until morning comes around.
The communist goes back to find that gun and finds that it is missing, and they're just like, well, I hope that's not important. You know, that's not going to be important for us.
Well, he doesn't know what to do with this, because unlike a dialectic where there's 2 things, now there's no things.
There's no things. Yeah. We don't know. Yeah, it's exactly. So next morning, incredibly long shot of Louise sauntering her slow way along the boat to discover, much to her shrieking, dropping a tray of breakfast horror, that Lynette has been murdered in the night at some point during all of this hubbub.
Yeah.
And Poirot is sort of standing over her body and repeats the same line that Jackie said to her earlier in the film, being like, oh, I just wish I could point this gun straight at her head and kill the Weezer earworm that's keeping her awake. But and the doctor is
what's with this fiance stealing my girl?
Yeah, exactly. And the doctor is standing behind her and just sort of looks over him like a what?
I think this is where he goes,
"Oh, what you say is dumb,"
which is just a great line in and of itself.
It's delightful.
Poirot like goes back to race and is like, we gotta solve crimes, because Poirot, like a lot of detectives, needs a man to be hanging out with him while he solves those crimes, sort of bumbling.
Well, in Poirot, he's often very dandyish, a bit of a fop, a bit of a like an aristo, often a ladies' man, a bit of a lecherous kind of sort of sleaze, but in a kind of sort of posh granddad sort of way, winking at waitresses and things like that all the time. But we eliminate Jackie from suspicion because Jackie has been sedated the entire night under the careful watch of Maggie Smith. And we eliminate Simon from suspicion because Simon has a very, very small bullet shattering his kneecap and cannot move an inch without sort of trailing blood everywhere.
Yeah. And so basically what follows is Poirot mooches about with Race, interviewing everyone about the motive he saw them say earlier. And in each of these, we get a full recap of we filmed how it would look if they did it, like OJ style.
Yeah, this segment is like half of the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, not a joke, just like Poirot going to each of the suspects being like, if you did it, it would look something like this. And then
it bolstered me a little bit while watching this, knowing that it's an over 2-hour movie, and sort of being like, we a lot of this is just going to be, summarizable in a single sentence.
He's just doing stuff throughout this, by the way. He's playing a piano that happens to be in the room. Half paying
when he's
attention.
interviewing Maggie Smith, it's just ADHD Poirot just sort of like playing heart and soul in the background, just like chopsticks, just delightful. But interviewing the communist and Rosalie together, the communist is sort of like incriminating himself because he can't bring himself to lie, really. And so whenever Poirot's like, you could have done this, and he's like,
I could have done, but as it happens, I didn't.
Yeah, I could have.
And that's an airtight alibi if ever I saw one.
Chewing gum is a bourgeois affectation. It's a superstructural phenomenon, Comrade
Exactly.
Poirot. My next note just says, trying to cure a gunshot wound with, quote, a spot of lunch, end quote, and 4 British flag emojis.
There's a scene when he talks to Simon, and Simon is just like, "Oh no, I'm not going to eat the lunch." And Poirot just takes the lunch and be like, "You mind if I have it?" And then he just eats the lunch in the background. It's great.
Peter Ustinov wears a bib on 4 separate occasions in this movie. He's always eating.
Just mid-crime investigation, be like, "Don't mind if I do."
Eating camembert with a knife and fork, just...
Although Lynette has used her dying blood to write J in on the wall, Simon does not think Jackie could have done it on the basis that he knows that she would never commit cold-blooded murder, only hot-blooded, which is way better.
Yeah, and it's also something that they immediately dismiss as really dumb, because when you get shot in the temple at point-blank range with a gun, you're not doing a lot of moving after that.
Really small bullets, pinwheeling around in there. You've got some time to do some calligraphy.
There's absolutely no time to write anything, But so they sort of dismiss that as being a kind of a ruse. Someone is trying to frame Jacqueline, perhaps. We have a little scene when they're checking in on Simon where the French maid Louise comes in to sort of check in on him and says something that attention is drawn to later, sort of saying that she didn't see anything at all, but if she had been awake, she absolutely would have been able to see who did the murder.
So Poirot genuinely goes well, fumbled that interrogation. I don't know anything. Goes back to his cabin where they try to Dr. No his ass, right? There's a cobra. You forget about the cobra, right? There's a bit where there's a cobra loose in his bathroom.
By loose, we mean behind a very, very visible perspex screen.
Yeah, so Poirot, because his cabin adjoins Race's, starts tapping in Morse code. I don't remember Morse code, but I can only assume he is tapping get sword, stab snake, because Race...
Yeah, he's tapping out the Morse code for There's a snake.
And Race like immediately just like, I know exactly what to do. I'll bring the sword immediately.
Yeah, I need my sword.
Comes in, stabs the snake, no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Really kind of an anticlimactic solution to what I would imagine be like a slightly more tense problem.
You're not going to like Snake Valhalla if you've been run through with a sword cane.
Exactly.
You know?
And Mr. Chowdhury comes in to dispose of the snake with more racist noises, more like, you know, oh goodness gracious me kind of shit.
Yeah, bad.
Chucks it out the side of the boat as well, just very kind of in a funny way.
Yeah, just like
just defenestrates the snake.
Yeah, belongs in the Nile now.
But yeah, no, Mr. Chowdhury doing like this Little Britain ass sort of caricature here.
It's real bad. It's real bad.
It's real bad.
It takes you out of the suspense.
Yeah.
Because like it's such forced insertion, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to interview Salome Otterborn. Osame Salaborn.
Do we?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we then interview Betty Davis.
So many suspects.
Oh, okay, sure. This was another problem: is I could not tell the like two old women apart.
Betty Davis, who was awoken in the middle of the night by the popping of an indifferent champagne, quote unquote, being possessed of like perfect savant knowledge of what champagne bottles sound like, and anyone who has seen an Agatha Christie thing before will be like, okay, that probably wasn't a champagne cork. That was probably a gunshot, right? Seeing as we have, like, two victims here.
Chekhov's champagne cork.
Exactly. And all this time they are looking for the gun, because the gun's gone completely missing. And Mr. Chowdhury announces that they've finally found the gun, saying,
We have found it! Oh, goody, gumdrop! This certainly takes the camel's hump.
Yes, he does.
And arrives with the gun, which has been wrapped in Betty Davis's missing stole, her scarf, which has a bullet hole in it, alongside not only the gun, but also a handkerchief that is stained very, very pink with some sort of pink liquid rather than what we would presume red liquid being blood, but it's pink for some reason. Poirot accuses Betty Davis of stealing the pearls. Betty Davis threatens to sue him for slander. He's just sort of like couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, my sole note for this is that she is in this scene wearing a choker, like a kind of bodiless turtleneck.
Yes, it's very bizarre.
It is very cute, though, I will say.
Yeah,
I wish I had one.
A choker that covers the entire neck. It's just astonishing.
All neck, no turtle.
The reverse circumcision. We then go and interview Salome. Who...
What, putting an extra one on?
Yeah.
Just like stacked.
It's like just keep the foreskin, get rid of the rest of it. You know, I mean, like that's the
the implications.
The GRS has opened up wonders of surgery.
Sort of oblivion NPC voice. Perhaps you're wondering why this tavern is called the Empty Foreskin. Well, it was a strange occurrence that happened to me. There is so much more.
We'll keep going. So we then join Salome in the bar, who is like absolutely smashed off her tits on a cocktail called the Golden Sobek.
Yes,
sounds good as hell.
Yes, named from the god of Semen. Which I screamed that into my notes as I heard it, being like, "There's no fucking way." The material for the podcast, like, God bless.
Yeah.
Like this disgusting looking drink called the Golden Sobek. Like you
and that's
could
why
not.
she ordered it, right? You know, this is she would absolutely sign up to get injected with armadillo urine if she felt that it would like bring her libido back.
Barman, this crocodile has lost its croc.
But we accuse her of not wanting to pay for libel damages, and she's Angela Lansbury's doing a really, really good job of being like quite a depressed alcoholic here.
Just chewing the scenery, I will say.
Yeah, there's a throwaway line between Poirot and Race here where they basically just go, "God, what a bitch! I wish someone would kill her," and it's quite mean-spirited.
Oh yeah, I have the thing.
Perhaps one day the subscribers of the lending libraries will club together and hire an assassin.
Which I do enjoy the concept of a kind of tier 1 librarian.
You know, we have those, is the thing. You know, if you don't bring your book back to the library often enough, we will just send the library assassin after you.
You're the kind of Emily Blunt and Sicario of librarians, but
Yeah.
there's also the Josh Brolin in Sicario of librarians.
It's a real thing, though. I borrowed a copy of Irreversible Damage, and I had to flee the country.
And at this stage, we see someone sneaking into where they're keeping the body and mysteriously returning the diamonds that Poirot had accused Betty Davis of stealing. They've been returned.
This is another, as you may be able to tell from the length of the episode, another flaw of Agatha Christie's writing, which is a plot that needs to be a bit too intricate.
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
Like
we are getting there.
It's when you're in the genre that something done successfully is described as a page turner, right? Like something that like you compulsively can't put down. You have a lot of incentive to kind of stretch it out with a lot of twists.
Well, see, it's fascinating because they can't really stretch it out with anything else. Because at the time,
the Branagh adaptation tries to stretch it out with what if Poirot had trauma,
Yes.
which is a really funny thing to do, and we'll talk about that at length whenever we get around to doing that, whenever we feel like doing this story again.
I can't wait to do that episode because we get the gritty backstory of Poirot's mustache.
Yes,
The gritty reboot of the mustache.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But at the time, people who were writing detective fiction ascribed to sort of very, very strict rules about how it should be done. You know, you had like the reader must have the equal opportunity alongside the detective to solve it. No willful deceptions. The detective must come clean about like everything. There mustn't be like hidden clues or anything like that. But one of the rules that was generally ascribed to by the Detection Club and other sort of unions of detective fiction writers was a detective novel should contain no long descriptive passages, no literary dallying with side issues, no subtly worked out character analyses, and no quote-unquote atmospheric preoccupations. And I think that's really interesting because if you ever read an Agatha Christie novel, this is someone who is outsold only by the Bible and Shakespeare. Her writing style reads a lot like a Wikipedia synopsis sometimes. It's just, and then this happened, and then this happened. It's, it feels very
we see
long.
where Jackie gets it from.
I mean, it was groundbreaking at the time, but then, like, I guess that's why, like, I she's considered a trendsetter. It's because, like, she did that, and then it became expected almost. Like, it became very useful to deliver information, but now it's sort of like a trope of itself.
It's interesting to me that these novels sort of came about around the same time that the crossword was becoming a sort of a weekly staple in newspapers and things like that. These are very much mechanical puzzles, if I'm going to get quite haughty about it for a second.
But so, they search the American's cabin and find his traditional American massive revolver.
Yes, absolutely. Like,
which is
enormously.
very much like a Dracula cowboy situation, where it's just like, oh yeah, of course, the American just brought a gun with him.
Creepy Uncle Andrew returns to his cabin and finds them rummaging around.
It's like, I see you found my gun for if I need to hunt a sort of up-armored version of Weezer.
Yeah, they accuse him of swindling, and he's just sort of sitting there being like, Fuck, they're gonna know that I swindled. Oh God, why didn't I think this plan through? But he's so ineffectual. There follows some, what I can only describe as French bullshit in the same vein as tango bullshit.
Yeah.
The writer flexing his chops about, I've looked up some cute misunderstandings and puns.
Yeah, there's a bilingual pun. Poirot says that he has femme, as in like hunger, and race misunderstands him to mean like woman, and then you
have a woman?
Before we get to the eel, the eel which is gonna fucking one-shot the thing and be another hour in itself. Right,
we're very near the end. We only have like a page of notes left. We're getting close.
It's crazy how the setup is like 4/5 of the movie.
Yeah, but like this is the thing. It's like one of those sort of Matchbox cars that you pull back. But Poirot does say, pending the arrival of the police, the company has commissioned us to investigate this murder. Right? We never see any police in this, nor do we even know which company has done this, because there are no police in this Egypt, because it's not a place, right? It's a place of kind of lawlessness, but also just kind of like it's extra legal, right?
Yeah.
Like Poirot is the only law. That's not even like colonial logic. Egypt was a British protectorate at this point, but it doesn't like function on that basis at all. It's just like background place.
No, exactly.
So they go to dinner, and Race is like, Poirot, old boy, am I cooked? Am I washed?
No, exactly. Poirot has requested a plate of morue for dinner, meaning mushrooms, and what Colonel Race has ordered him is a plate of moray eels.
When the moon hits your eye.
Shut the fuck up.
That's amore.
That's amore.
Yeah, right in the
Gets a
feels.
huge plate of eel, and I legitimately got hungry for eel because I haven't had eel in fucking ages. Because who sells eel anymore? Because it's endangered.
Come to London. We'll have some eels.
Yes, please come visit us.
I would love a fucking eel.
Obviously, we're not in London, but like, come further up.
Yeah, I'll go to London. You won't be there, but eel might.
We will come down for like eels and mash. You know,
we'll meet you in the middle. Yeah, and all this time there is some like smooth jazz being played on sort of traditional Egyptian instruments, which is very funny.
Nino Rota did the music for this. Not a guy who knew what an Egyptian instrument sounded like.
Very bizarre.
Real authentic jazz was invented by the pharaoh.
I think so too.
Smash cut to the picture of Louis Armstrong playing the trumpet for his wife by the Sphinx, you know?
They've dressed for dinner because these people will go through 6 shirts a day before they consider taking off their dinner jacket. Jackie has come up to Poirot and basically said, I know that I shot Simon, but babes, do you think I still have a chance? Do you think if I, I think I might be in there. I think he'll be, this could still work,
this
right?
Is
I'm not
beautiful
crazy.
Princess Disorder in action. This is exactly the type of person that I would probably end up dating. I love her.
And Colonel Race says, I poured your wine away from the bottle because it was moldy. There was bits in it.
Yeah, stank of GHB as well.
Yeah.
Which I recognized from my chemsex hobby.
Which is how I met Trans Maggie
The
Smith.
GHB?
Shut up. And a member of staff finds outside of Louise's cabin a blood-soaked rag.
A member of staff with no lines. These are the only Egyptians, bar like people we see on the shore and urchins kind of bothering Poirot.
Yes, yeah.
And who are not people but instruments in a whodunit.
Yeah, the urchins are there to pickpocket Poirot and to moon Betty Davis from the river. What's interesting to me is that like it's a bit of a Gosford Park situation insofar as like there are servants and staff everywhere who, by merit of just like not being white, are not up for consideration at all as suspects.
Yeah.
They are literally just mechanical.
Yes, yeah. They are not legible to the plot.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we run to Louise's, the French maid's cabin, and find that she is dead, throat slit, and she's clutching a torn bit of money. And from this, we extrapolate blackmail, that she has tried to blackmail someone.
Yeah, we get another flashback of seeing her do it, and it takes forever.
God, it takes so long. Dr. Magnus Hirschfeld comes in. They sort of suggest that the weapon that was used to slit her throat could have been one of his medical scalpels. And he says a line that I wrote down is absolutely fascinating.
Yes.
What do I have to do with the squalid affairs of the lower classes? Everyone knows they have no neuroses, just animal passions.
Absolutely wild line. Like it really...
Little bits of class consciousness.
It really got me going.
And the thing is that Poirot kind of agrees with this suggestion.
So does the movie.
So does
the movie.
Well.
Yeah.
You know, the implication, not even implication, just the textual read here is that the maid Louise is sort of killed by her own greed, that even if she knew who the killer was, she shouldn't have tried to blackmail him to improve her social standing.
Yeah, and both the movie and Poirot frame this as greed rather than like desperation, right? Like she is going to get married, the same situation that Jackie's in, but in her case it's the kind of base passion of greed. Anyway, They go to Simon.
Angela Lansbury comes in and says, I know who killed Louise.
She does. She like tells this story as lengthily and portentously as possible.
Huge gaps, yeah.
I know who've done it.
Yeah, and Simon is like, wow, it's crazy that you know who done it, just in time for Angela Lansbury to say, counting or not counting gang violence, and then
oh, God.
Get instantly weasered to a permanent end. Poirot is not getting 5 stars on this case. It's not going well.
No.
He walks outside. They're not especially shocked by the fact that a woman's just been shot in the face in front of them. They're kind of like...
Everyone's really casual about it.
Yeah,
They're just like, that's unfortunate.
It's a price you pay for the Second Amendment, you know? She said so herself, weirdly.
It's this really mean-spirited thing of, like, oh, thank God someone put her out of her horny alcoholic misery. And it's like... Come on, Jesus.
There's 3 people dead on this boat so far.
2 of whom are Poirot's fault for not solving the case fast enough.
And he steps outside, sees the gun on the floor, which is obviously creepy Uncle Andrew's gun.
The big American gun.
And he says, these murders have gone, they have to stop. Then it's like, yeah, you're going to finally lock in, cunt?
Just like, all right, that's enough now. You know?
Okay.
Teacher losing control of the class.
It's your own time you're wasting. And he says, setting up the big reveal, he's like, all will be revealed.
All will be revealed in 30 minutes.
This is one of your classic, like, lock everybody in the parlor for the big reveal.
Yeah,
things.
but I'm going to reveal who did it in 30 minutes. You all better keep stum and still, and nobody try to run away in that time.
No.
I don't know why you'd even bother telling them that. There's a very, very brief bit just before the parlor scene where Rosalie is very, I'll pronounce it consistently eventually, is mourning the death of her mum, and Jim, the communist, sort of sweeps in on her while she's vulnerable and says, I'll look after you. You'd never have gotten away from her, not while she's alive. Just as one final, like, setting up him being, potentially involved. Back to the parlor.
This is something that I'm loath to give either of them credit, given the transphobia, but something that David Mitchell and Robert Webb exploded with a sketch called The Evil Voice.
The Evil Voice, yes.
The Evil Voice.
Yeah.
The Evil Voice, which observes that Poirot tends to just kind of point the finger of suspicion at somebody, and it's usually a woman who cracks first, and she goes from, why no, Poirot, I have no idea who has done it, to like, yours were such a damn fool, Freddy.
All right, I did kill him, and her tits just sort of pouring out of her.
Exactly.
He goes around the room, and the classic scene of gathering everyone together in the parlor. Everyone looks incredible, especially Maggie Smith. But he goes around and lists all of their motives one by one, which we've already done, except for Mr. Chowdhury, who gets a motive which is apparently you're too fucking dumb to, like, have recognized the murder victim, and so maybe you killed the murder victim thinking that she was someone else.
It's a really weird, like, inclusion. I think they kind of had the thought while filming, just being like, wait, we haven't considered that there are other people on the boat. And just like, what if you wanted to kill someone and got it wrong?
Absolutely bizarre.
Completely nonsensical.
Only one of these, like, aristocratic stereotypes could have an internal life suitable as a substrate for murder, you know? When Poirot lays it out as a narrative, you get the cinema sins ding going in your head,
yes.
Right? Because this is a remarkably contrived plot. The way that Poirot has figured this out is, by the way, through, and this is a real Sherlock Holmes sort of episode 1 moment, recognizing the red nail polish in Lynette's bedroom is depleted.
2 bottles of colored nail polish. 1 bottle was labeled rose, but the few drops remaining in that bottle were not pale pink, but bright red. And instead of the usual smell of pear drops, vinegar.
And it's like, Poirot, how do you know so much about nail polish.
Gender going on.
You know, it's again, it's like Sherlock Holmes in the first one being like, she's not wearing any gloves. It's how do you have such knowledge of this? You know, it's interesting.
So here's the plan, right? Here's how it actually went down. Is so Jackie, making sure there was an audience, shot past Simon's leg. Simon does a perfect imitation of all four members of Weezer and falls down like he's been shot.
That poor actor had to do that so many times in this movie, and from so many angles, and he never quite does it the same way. It's very funny.
Jackie, swooning, drops the gun. Simon is like clutching a handkerchief which he has spilled red ink on to his leg and acting up a storm.
Faking an injury.
Thus clearing the room. Then the second everybody's out of the room taking care of Jackie, he takes the gun, goes to Lynette's cabin, shoots her, takes the time to like write the letter J in her blood on the wall.
Yeah.
Goes back, shoots himself in the leg for real, reloads the gun, wraps it in the stole with an ashtray and throws it overboard, which raises the question of why you would reload it to conceal the number of bullets fired if you were gonna throw it away.
You've reloaded it to get rid of the evidence that you used it to shoot yourself in the knee, when you could just reload it again to remove all suspicion that it was the gun used to kill your wife. You could just had them looking for a different murder weapon the entire time. I don't understand.
You gotta have a little bit of an air of mystery. You gotta leave something to the imagination. Like you're still a bit of an extra aristocrat where you have to be like, do it for the drama.
Cinema sins ding. So obviously Louise has seen this happen and tries to blackmail them. As Poirot phrases it, she makes her greedy bid for hush money, and in doing so signs her own death warrant.
Yeah. No, exactly, and additionally, the big twist is essentially that Simon married Lynette just for her money, and that he has been in on this the entire time with Jackie, and this has been planned. She hasn't actually been crashing out this entire time, and we do get a little bit of the evil voice where we sort of have her.
We're such a damn fool.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's going so well.
As soon as we've gone, the tone changes.
It's going fine, darling. We're nearly there.
So then knowing that they're being blackmailed by this maid, they choose to pay her one time, but then Simon's like, if you pay her, you're going to have to keep paying her forever. To which no one objects. Can't we pay her for a bit and then kill her when the world's greatest detective is?
Yeah, like it's fucked up that the world's greatest detective happened to have dropped by during our carefully, meticulously planned out scheme.
Yeah,
but yeah, you can be patient, you know, just pay her enough money to get off the boat for now and deal with it later. You know, you don't need to take her out.
So Jackie cuts her throat, however, and takes the money back. However, she's still holding the torn banknote, and then Angela Lansbury sees them, because you can't do shit without getting seen on this fucking boat. This is like a Hitman level getting out of control. This was a Hitman level getting out of control.
Angela Lansbury, who was on the deck buying bottles of booze off one of the staff.
Which is so... Like, why would you do that? They have a bar?
They have a bar.
And they're trying to kill their way out of this thing where everyone else also wants the murder victim dead.
Yeah,
There's no reason why this couldn't have been an Orient Express type situation if they hadn't decided that the only solution to death on the Nile was more death on the Nile.
Like, Simon, why did you write the letter J in blood on the wall when you could have written any of the other passengers' initials? And, you know, it would have been much more likely to have thrown them off your trail.
I feel like they figured out a plan like way ahead of time and then got so like tunnel vision on that plan.
Yeah.
But any deviation from it needs to be adjusted with more murder.
It's like when I have a joke in my notes about a scene that is not pivotal, but I will wrench the whole podcast towards recounting that scene so I can get that joke
Look,
off.
sometimes you get into wait mode and you know that you could do, this admin that's been building up in your life for a while, but you need to do this other thing first, and it just gets out of control.
The Charbonnet Walker Marc de Champagne truffles,
And so Angela Lansbury, having overseen this, goes to find Poirot and Colonel Race to say, I'm going to take a very long time now building up to saying who the murderer is, to give Simon enough time to loudly signal vocally through the walls.
Yeah, he was tapping in Morse code, "Get gun."
Kill Angela Lansbury quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did the snake come from?
I will tell you,
snake!
because I made a note of this. So then Jackie comes running round, steals her creepy Uncle Andrew's revolver, and quickly goes and shoots Angela Lansbury in the face, drops the gun, and then runs away.
Why wouldn't you throw it in the Nile again?
Yeah, reload it with your...
How did she know where that gun was also? Did she just
Well, I think Andrew had said that he keeps a gun on him at all times. Very convenient.
Oh.
And after finishing off this, there's utter stunned silence in the room, and Simon, in one last-ditch attempt to discredit Poirot, just starts slow clapping. Just like...
Classic.
Very, very good, Mr.
Unlikely
P.
story, but where's your proof? To which all Poirot would have to say, the red ink.
Yeah.
Why the red ink, man? There's what do you mean? We have the gun. What are you talking? We have the what? What are you doing? This is like
Poirot then tries to do some actual. This is an actually honest depiction of forensic science, right? In that it is used to coerce a confession on the promise that it's a lot more accurate than it could ever possibly be. Poirot is like, I'm going to do like a paraffin test for gunshot residue.
Yes, it's called
the
moulage
test.
We're gonna do some fucking frottage to you, mate. Hold still.
Some sloppy gorilla test.
Oh God, having to go get sloppy gorilla tested afterwards. No.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a remoulade test to you, right? And my friend Captain Hastings is gonna like apply the Veet wax to you.
Yes, yeah. So this is supposedly a test to detect embedded gunpowder in your hand from the type of gun that you fire. And rather than just call his bluff, our perfect himbo looks over at Jackie and is like, nah, they fucking got us, babe. We're fucking dead. And Jackie's like, all right, fucking hell. And she goes over, says, I love you, you fucking moron, and shoots Simon in the face. Simon says, good night.
Good night.
Simon says, go to Valhalla.
Where was the cobra from?
So the cobra is there's a throwaway line.
It was a throwaway cobra.
because
it's a nonsensical. It comes from nowhere.
It's not in the book. It's been included in a kind of
to
Roger
wake
Moore
up
as
the
James
audience.
Bond. That's the entire significance of the cobra. It's included because they needed some sort of like action and tension and thrills and otherwise. And not in the book. It's just chucked in for the movie. And Jackie says that
what justification is there? Come on, Simon, I've magicked up a cobra.
No, it's Simon's initial plan for the murder method is to put a cobra in Lynette's bed, which is why they brought the cobra with them.
Doing a favor to your himbo boyfriend by working in his shitty plan just as a friend. You're like, okay, babe, it's fine. We'll do the cobra thing because he's really upset that they didn't do the cobra.
Like so many cobras died in the making of this movie. Like Betty Davis is wearing shoes made out of 26 pythons that were stitched together. Like 26.
I love that Green Day song.
Pythons. Yeah.
So Jackie executes her himbo boyfriend and then also herself, right? She lets the intrusive thoughts win, right? And she, like, this is one of your neater ways of wrapping up this kind of parlor thing, because
I would have been doing some Danger 5 shit. I would have leapt out the window.
For real, right? Because there's no cops still at any point, even when they sort of dock the ship and they take off the bodies. In the novel, Poirot is like, oh yeah, I knew she had that. I just let her do it because I thought it'd be cleaner, which
is insane.
Is a little bit too fucked up for the movie to do.
Yeah, it's real weird. You got to imagine like the staff getting off the boat and going up to their friends on the dock and just sort of being like, "Fucking weird trip, man." No, that was a weird one.
What if it isn't? What if that's every day for them? You know, every fucking day of your life, it's like Cobra murder.
In this fucking bizarre universe where Egypt is like the way it is in this movie, like it's not unreasonable because it's like. Egypt in this movie is not real world Egypt. Egypt in this movie is like some Mad Max world a little bit.
Yeah, it's, but like Hercule Poirot this week, and we had that fucking Parker Pine last week. What was he doing it?
But like this movie is a failure on Poirot's side, right? Because like there's 5 people dead and no one is brought to justice.
He eats shit on this one, for real.
He's a bad detective.
Yeah.
We get an unearned little happy ending where Betty Davis and Maggie Smith go off to carry on their 24/7 dom sub torture shit.
Oh, they're really explicit about that in the sense that, like, Betty Davis sort of menaces Bowers with the prospect of going to, like, Siberia or something.
Yeah, you need a nice, cool holiday. I was thinking the Gobi Desert.
And I'm like, abandon this Belgian dickhead. Give me 25 novels of these two. Do they solve any crimes? Do they fuck? Right?
For sure. There's sloppy gorilla stuff going on there for sure.
Rosalie Otterborn, having gotten apparently, completely over the death of her mother, reveals that she and the communist are now engaged. Presumably, Rosalie is about to inherit quite a lot of literary estate money.
Yeah, fascinating to give the communist a happy ending. It really bespeaks a kind of attitude of, I think that you personally are unserious, but I understand that your political tendency is inevitably going to win, which I think was weirdly common in some sort of like writers of the 1930s, where it's like the communist is just kind of like annoyingly premature, but it is their world. And
I mean, possibly. The interpretation that I had for it was it's like, this is someone who spent the entire film bitching about like vast amounts of money being inherited by people who didn't work for it, which is like a genuine sort of critique. And then as soon as a very, 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 very beautiful woman inherits her mother's literary estate and stands to make a quite startling amount of money, he's like, yeah, let's get married.
I mean, communism is nice, but a lot of money is forever.
I don't know that. If you ask me to decide between communism and like several £1 million in Olivia Hussey's hand in marriage, I would of course funnel all of that money into rifles for Republican Spain.
Quite right. I think you could convince Olivia Hussey to join the revolution. I think. I like to imagine it.
I think so.
This is cope from all of us here.
It is.
No, what if I had both? I could have both, right?
A better world is possible. So we finished the film with Colonel Race coming up to Poirot and being like, "What are you thinking about?" And he goes, "I'm thinking about how all women just in their hearts want to find a good man to settle down and marry, and then that's their life."
And then Race says, like, "Get damn, I wish you speak English."
What are you thinking?
I was thinking of Molière. La grande ambition des femmes est d'inspirer l'amour.
I do wish you'd speak some known language.
The great ambition of women is to inspire love.
I beg your pardon. 2 women are dead because this guy didn't do a good enough job investigating.
Yeah, which leads us,
inexorably, like communism,
to our classic couple of questions about whether these fuckers protected or served.
No.
So, did Hercule Poirot protect in this film?
Most probably no.
5 people are dead.
So many people died.
Not a single person was protected. Every single person who was tried to murder was murdered. The murderer killed everyone they wanted to.
It's not like he didn't know that Jackie was volatile.
In Act 1, before they even get to the venue of the murders, the murderer shows him the murder weapon and is like, I'm gonna use this to kill the victim. And he says nothing to anyone.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
Doesn't go. Yeah, there's a point where they find her at the temple and they let her back on the boat. Why didn't Poirot say, "Don't under any circumstance let this stalker back on the boat? She has a gun."
Poirot operating under a kind of prime directive situation with women.
But also, like, they found her at the temple where a stone almost just killed the person who is obviously like the upcoming murder victim, and still let her on the boat with
the
gun.
Stone incidentally revealed to have been creepy Uncle Andrew desperately trying to like messily kill them. So Uncle Andrew presumably on the hook for attempted murder,
exactly,
and just does nothing about it. I don't think we see what happens to Uncle Andrew when the boat finally docks. We don't get a conclusion.
Well, they made a move to Norfolk,
but presumably he just gets away with it, and on all he's not struck off as a solicitor.
Embezzlement is not one of the sexy crimes.
I mean, she is dead now. So I mean, attempted murder against a murdered person who is not alive. So I mean,
you can't attempted murder a murder victim and other legal maxims from Be Gay Solve Crimes.
Oh god, yeah,
I got the worst fucking attorney.
Oh Christ! So he didn't protect. Did he serve? Is the question.
A little bit,
tiny bit, barely.
I didn't mention the sort of hairnet he's wearing, something which the Bran adaptation elaborates into a mustache net.
Hairnet, the mustache cozy. The pith helmet does suck. I'm afraid it's a mark against him for like fucked hats in the same way as he got the tweed fedora in the first one.
This is going to sound a bit Return with a V of me, but I do respect anyone who dresses for dinner. So yeah,
I mean, I agree with that. But he also has like this like robe, which is like the most colorful robe out of everyone when they inspect the murder victim at night. So like he does have pajamas,
dazzle camouflage paisley dressing gown. Yeah.
So you can't identify his speed or head.
They can't ever kill him with the Cobra because the Cobra didn't figure out the firing solution in time.
I think there's an interesting thing insofar as like going back to the fact that in the books and in a number of adaptations, Poirot canonically dyes his hair and wears a wig and wears a fake mustache. It's interesting to me that Peter Ustinov's Poirot has grey hair. This is a Poirot that has sort of allowed himself to age kind of gracefully. And so, perhaps there's something to that, something a little bit like his mustache isn't totally alienating, perhaps, like it will get in the Kenneth Branagh ones where it's got layers to it, like a layered mustache. I think he I don't know whether he served in this one, but I don't think so. I do know that Maggie Smith served, and that's all that matters.
Every woman served in this.
This leads me to a question: is Poirot in this because he's a bad detective, doesn't protect and doesn't serve? Is Poirot even transgender in this movie?
I think so on the basis of the strange sort of fastidiousness. To be a detective, even a really bad one like this, requires a kind of apartness, I guess. That like he has a kind of he has a like cishet amanuensis in the form of David Niven, who's there to be like, this is what my gay neurodivergent transgender friend means, and may we all be blessed with one of those,
I mean, I know of some beloved trans masks who started taking tea and were rather alarmed by how quickly they went bald, and
the
did not expect to end up being 5 foot tall and balding, and just I mean, and a lot of trans guys are like, hell fucking yeah, I've wanted to go bald for ages, and more power to them. If he's trans, I think Poirot might be a trans guy. Is my
it's very possible. Yes.
Non-binary Poirot.
Interesting.
He or she.
The George Costanza look. George Costanza Poirot.
Oh god, dysphoria demon.
That's Death on the Nile, and Jesus, that was a lot of death on the Nile in every sense.
It was.
Long-ass movie.
I will somehow edit that
We will
into
do
something.
no such thing. It's going to be an hour 57 when it releases. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to listen to more, maybe not like straight away necessarily, because that would be deranged, but if you wanted to take a slight break and then listen to some more, we have a Patreon, which you can subscribe to. The next bonus episode, episode B,
we are going to do, and this is one where our thesis may be tested in some way. We are going to take a brief dalliance into other trans representation in detective fiction, and we are going to do Silence of the Lambs.
Let's go.
Go there.
We are going to do incredible psychic damage to ourselves.
We're finally taking transsexuals.
And we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. If you like that, then you should head on over to our Patreon, where for as little as £5 a month, you can get access to all of our future bonus episodes, including our current one, Disco Elysium. Thank you so much to everyone who has already subscribed to the Patreon, and an extra special thanks to our £10 and above patrons, who are as follows: Vi, Saturday's Claire, Jordan Gammy, Sparky, Robert Greensmith, Chloe Salzenberg, Transfer Productions, Dalton Fitzgerald, April, Reusable Lesbian, Frere Aloysius, Sonia with a Y, Moss, Rosary Game Over Doll, Zoe T, Angie Words, Kyle Clark, Gil the Gilded Dragon, Audrey Witt Pittman, Balakatina Gaviscon, really hope I pronounced that correctly, and Yarinka. And we will see you next time.
Go to bed!